Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and this week we have Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh with us for this special weekly session. Dr. Sahab, Namaskar, welcome.
Namaskar.
So I want to begin with another important development from White House, where I think it was for the first time that someone from Indian American background was considered for such a high position. And I'm talking about Neera Tanden. Talk to me about this whole thing of her being nominated, and then due to opposition, she.
Well, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, and we Indian American or South Asian American lost a great friend since she could not get nominated because of whatever her political activities during the Trump administration and before, because she was very active, belonging to some think tank, and so she kind of roughen up a lot of senators and congressmen's sentiment, both Republican and Democrat, more on Republicans, and that's why I think they are they took the kind of revenge, so-called quote unquote revenge, which is really in I mean, in if you look at the interest of the nation, it should not have done that. But it's unfortunate part of the politics, and we have to live with that. And we had Biden administration should have should have done a little more homework and selected her for something where you don't need to have Senate approval.
So I think President Biden heard you, because this is exactly what he told. In fact, I would also share the main reason which became the cause of such forceful opposition for her relates to her tweets. In one of her tweets, she compared Republic Senate leader Mitch McConnell to Voldemort. And for those of us who haven't read Harry Potter, he was the Harry Potter series villain and called him Moscow Mitch, and once said vampires have more heart than Ted Cruz. So, of course, she was referring to Republic Senator into Texas, but Dr. Using this kind of language, it demonstrates that you are aggressive. But do you think she should have also have been observed some restraint while using her social media expressions?
I think so, because when you are in the active politics, will think when you are living in the glass house, you cannot throw stone on the other's glass house, because ultimately it comes back to you, boomerangs to you. So being a real politician, real active in the politics or politician, whatever you call it, she should have been more diplomatic, and she should have kind of known this thing, because I mean, you can oppose somebody, you can criticize someone, but you cannot personally kind of vilify somebody.
Absolutely. And this probably somewhere is perceived as being aggressive, but then you reach to this situation. And allow me to share the statement of President Biden about her, which would make you feel proud as an Indian American if you just look at it from that point of view. He said, I have the utmost respect for her record of accomplishment, her experience, and her counsel, and I look forward to having her serve in a role in my administration. She'll bring valuable perspective and insight to our work. So these are pretty good, decent, complimentary words. Now, before we go to India and we also look at the way political discourse is developing in America, how do you see under President Biden America coping up with the challenge of COVID-19 so far?
I think so far so doing good, and actually President Biden announced yesterday that the government or CDC will have enough dosage to give the vaccine to each and every adult of the country by end of the May, and which is kind of 2 months earlier than what before they thought. So that shows that the manufacturing of the supply of the vaccine is not the problem. Now, only problem left is every state has their own way of distributing it. So they should that logistic they should improve it, ramp it up a little bit faster, and make sure that at least 70 to 80% of the population should get the vaccine by end of the May. Obviously, 100% is never possible because there are people who does not believe in it. So nothing you can do about it. And this is a free country. Everyone has right to have make a decision for themselves as far as health is concerned. So I think let's see, as long as it's 70% gets vaccinated, you will have herd immunity because already 30% of the population is already have COVID infection, and plus 70%, it means almost like 80 to 90% people have protection, and I think that's a good news.
So, with that good news, Dr. I bring to your attention that people who are trying to get vaccinated, there are certain categories, and if they are not in the priority, then they don't get the chance of being vaccinated so far. And that is causing concern among some New Yorkers, that includes some viewers of ITV also, who say that if they are not above 65 and they don't have anyone working in the health industry, etc., etc., so they are not considered for vaccination. Do you
But now
see
I
that?
think I think now the next month it will open up to everyone. Only logistic problem is to get the appointment, go to the site, and the operation of the site. Because I have seen some sites are very busy, some sites are there are no patients for vaccination. So I think that's all a question of now local authority, how they handle or cope up with the or how their logistic of the or housekeeping of the vaccine administration. There's nothing, supply is plenty, so there should not be any excuse not to have vaccine properly given to everyone.
So hopefully everyone will get vaccinated soon. But there comes another question which you also alluded to, and there are some people who feel uncomfortable for either their precondition or whatever makes them think that they don't want to get vaccinated. In such situation, would you consider that as their right, their freedom, or it should be mandatory and compulsory for everyone?
No, no. In this country, by law, you cannot mandate vaccination to everybody, 100%. And you don't need to. As a scientist, as a doctor, I can tell you that if 30% people already have infection, and even 60% or 60% of the people gets the vaccine, or remaining people get the vaccine, there will be herd immunity. You don't have to worry about that. And then then again probably in the fall or next winter we might need to get a second booster, second vaccine, I mean injection of the vaccine, you know.
So that is quite a relief to hear that coming from you. For many people who feel that if some of their friends are not going in for vaccination, will that affect them also down the line? But now moving towards India and India's role in distribution of vaccine, and India has already vaccinated over 1.63 crore people. That includes Prime Minister Narendra Modi also getting vaccinated, and you must have also seen that image. That was also talked about. Yeah, you want to say something about Prime Minister Modi's leadership
I
in.
think the whole idea behind Prime Minister Modi took the vaccine in open public because that inspires or that assures a lot of people that the vaccine is safe, and everyone should take the vaccine whenever they get a chance to take the vaccine. The same thing President Biden did here, our Vice President Pence did here. So that's how leadership should behave.
And that has also made everyone sort of share their image of getting vaccinated on their social media platforms. So overall, there's a momentum of getting vaccinated, but along with this, politics also continues to play its role. And with that, we talk a little bit about the upcoming state elections, and especially Bengal in India. You must have heard that Prime Minister already addressed over 20 rallies in Bengal, and there is so much emphasis of Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP president, as well as Prime Minister. How do you read? What do you read in this active interest of BJP in Bengal?
Well, I mean, the BJP goal is to to win that election, because Bengal is the only place where the BJP does not have a good hold, or they are not holding any kind of I mean, administrative position. So I think BJP goal is very clear that they want to be come in the majority, and they do they want to they want to form the government. And I think this time BJP has very good chances of winning the Bengal. Uh, and let's see. We hope for that and see what happens, because Bengal also needs now a change, because there is a 10 years of TMC government. Always uh, any state or any politics, a change is always welcome, because that way people of the state can get benefit out of it.
Absolutely. And talking about Bengal, Congress has made alliances with one Indian secularist party, which is formed by someone who is known for his non secular, in fact, anti Hindu comments. Now, Congress making alliance with this kind of a party, how do you see this in terms of Congress long term strategy? Someone who wished that by COVID, maybe 50 crore Hindus should die, and he shared that through his social media platform, forming this party. Now, Congress joining hands with him.
Well, I mean, probably Congress judgment is very poor judgment, and but again in democracy, this poor judgment will be kind of punished, or by people of the country or people of the state when the election comes. And that's how in any democracy, whether you take a right decision or wrong decision, ultimately it will be proven by uh, election results, and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely. You said it right. And echoing what you just said, another leader of Congress, Anand Sharma, um, expressed his concern about this move of Congress. And he is being criticized by Congress leader Adhir Ranjan, as well as there have been protests or against Anand Sharma. So, this inner democratic dynamics or so-called inner democratic dynamics of Congress, how do you see it is likely to work for the party in short term and long term?
Well, I mean, in short term, probably Congress may get hurt because of this kind of alliance. In long term, we don't know, because in democracy, every party has its in all internal dynamics, and it's very hard to, without knowing much details or without knowing much thing, a superficial comment, and it's probably not a good idea. But I think in short term, this alliance doesn't look good, and probably Congress will prove to be it's a poor judgment and bad judgment on the part of the Congress.
And you also witnessed recently when Ghulam Nabi Azad retired from Rajya Sabha, there was quite a warm atmosphere at the parliament. Prime Minister said good things about him. He said good things about Prime Minister Modi. And this is being referred to as G22, 23. And these leaders of Congress did a rally or a meeting in Jammu and Kashmir. So this new development of open rebellious voice being heard, do you see that is likely to put a dent on a kind of a monopoly of Gandhi family on Congress?
Yes, it's quite possible, and I think sometime in democracy is always good to have some kind of dissent, and dissent in the Congress party is probably in long run it's good for that party or any party, or it applies to all the party. In any party, if there is a dissent in democracy, it's always good because it means that the party is more vibrant, and they are listening to, or they should listen to other voice.
Absolutely. And Dr. I appreciate your presence with us. And before we conclude, I want to refer to one more issue which has come from Mumbai. And you might be aware there has been one bakery shop very famous in Mumbai since 1953. They said it is named Karachi Bakery. So now recently there have been protests because of its Pakistani name by Maharashtra Navnirman Sena, and finally it had to turn down its shutters, or probably they'll open up with another name. How do you see this? The sentiment against Pakistan is, of course, obvious, but playing out on the business ventures in this fashion, what do you read in this?
Well, I mean, it's very obvious that we are in the majority in India, right? And our sentiment for Pakistan is very obvious and very well known. So this kind of protest is expected, but sometime in democracy, I think you can protest that, but you cannot carry on or take it to the different extent or extreme extent, because anything extreme, whether you agree or not, it's not a good idea in a way. But of course, the owner of the bakery should have changed their name long time ago, because he should know that sentiment of people of India against Pakistan is quite mildly speaking, very strong and very adversary. So I think every Indian citizen has a responsibility to make sure that that sentiment should not get hurt.
Absolutely. And let me share the comment of the owner, and he's a Sindhi Hindu Ramnani family guy, Wagmare, who migrated to India after partition. And so he carried the name of Karachi with him, probably that's why he opened and kept it. So he said this was a legitimate business with all valid licenses and approvals granted by government authorities. So then government should have also intervened, probably, looks like. But leaving it at that, as we conclude, your parting words for our viewers.
Well, again, dear friends, still we are in the pandemic. Good news is that we are almost coming out of the pandemic. Vaccination, a lot of plenty of vaccines available in the market. I mean, not I mean available through the health center and hospitals and other facilities. So please and go and get the vaccinated. Vaccine is very safe and is very useful for your own health and the health of your loved ones.
So,
Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Jai Hind. God bless America. God bless India. And God bless Indian American community. Thank you.